begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics.
What up? What up? What's everybody doing this morning? Crazy ass things. Too many wires. The Rona story of the month. What's going on here? Dupora. Yeah, you know what's up. Only for the fans. That's the only reason they do it. We might have a lot of haters, but we have some fans out there. I'm sure y'all think that. I think everybody's a hater. There's just a lot of haters. Cross, I don't know how I feel about you posting that back at me, bro. I try to keep it fresh. Guys, want to see something funny? Look at that. October. Pandemic again. And it kicks off with Trump's infection. I'm an old man. I don't party for the birthday. Just kind of enjoy some time with family and stuff like that. One of my buddies in the stream here took me out. So it's cool. A little birthday lunch and just hang out. I take it easy, man. I ain't 20. So, yeah, pandemic again. I think that's funny. I don't know, secret sin. You gotta figure that out. You can do that. Oh, you can't gift it. You can refer it. I don't remember if there's a way to do that. I think I can. You expect some booty, there's some chart booty in that OnlyFans page. If you want some actual booty, you got issues. Uh oh. So pretty crazy. It's gotten all the way back to the head of state. We talked about this in March and April. That if you thought about like the behaviors of the more conservative leadership that we have, they would make shittier decisions because we know people with racist ideologies make shittier choices. They have access to less information, and that was something with like the head of Italian state, Brazil, UK, United States. They're all the same exact personality, and all four of them got it. Eggplant TA for OnlyFans. I can accommodate that. So I guess before we even talk about all that stuff in the market, right, we'll talk about that. So, little announcement for everybody who's following. So yeah, a bunch of people have been trying very hard to destroy like evidence of any of my market research over the years, and went after my Twitter to get it banned. And we're able to preserve our Twitter. We just want to have it in a place where they can accommodate the kind of traffic that if people knew where it was, it would overwhelm the server it sits on. But our Twitter actually is preserved. But Twitter functioned as like a time capsule. It let us keep record of events, of news, of evolutions of charts, and let our readers kind of follow up and see our analysis over time. So we're gonna pick that back up. I thought we keep it more interesting, and I thought OnlyFans is a great venue to replicate the look and feel of Twitter, and allow for the time stamping and record keeping of what I do. So for anybody that's interested, made that announcement over here for everybody. You can get to see a little bit more of that unadulterated nomics. But yeah, so it'll be a lot like Twitter, and I'll keep track of like evolutions here. Add a little more context than we have in the shows, and kind of like what I would do with same thing I did in Twitter. Just keep track of evolutions in price and critical errors, things like that. That was the main reason so many people followed what I did. This chart's funny as fuck. Thanks, Knighted, for making this crazy GIF. But yeah, this is a hell of a fucking side by side. So you think about fucking, when we first saw this, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. In LTC Winter, to see this same structure, the way it's evolving, be a good one to keep track of. So yeah, keep track of that one. Many of the charts that we do on here, I know that like they don't port out of the video too clean, so I'm gonna start to port them out myself. It's like we did like Winter After Dark. There's a lot of good charts in there that I could grab some off of, and I'll bring this over to OnlyFans where they'll be like high resolution and look really good. So as always, I try not to waste anybody's time. This will always feed together. All my social platforms have all of the information that amounts to my analysis like everywhere. So it's immersive. You can use as much or as little as you want to of it. So hopefully this would be a nice addition to the information that we put out there as we watch the market evolve over time. So yeah, check it out, see what you think, and we'll be adding more stuff to this thing regularly and getting it going faster and faster. Peep it, the best kept secret. OnlyFans, only for the fans though, no haters. See that one? Yeah, it's the subscription one, so it means like if you come to that one and come trolling me, you pay to troll me, you have fucking issues. Like, stay the fuck away from me, you crazy ass CT trolls. Got people getting ban-hammered already in the chat. Really? So, yeah, if you're a troll, like, go somewhere else. It's so crazy. Yada yada. Respect told me on the bits. OnlyFans, no haters. That's what's up. No haters. Oh, that will never work if I do that. So that will not let me play sound there. See, my sound effect is gone again. That's so crazy. But it shouldn't be. It's like my alert, like totally stopped making all sounds. It's so weird. Alright, I don't know what that's doing. So, what y'all got for me this morning? Trump's who knows where with COVID. They're not going to put out the direct information you want. It's hard to interpret, but like I said, if there's any 74-year-old guy on the fucking planet that's going to survive this shit, it'd be Trump, right? He's going to get every treatment available, not available, and the kind of care that like no 74-year-old person can get. So if anybody has a high probability of survival, it's likely him. But I think it's the occurrence that it actually could make it to the head of state, and the realization that like a guy with that level of protocols around him isn't safe, and the amount of people around him that are being vetted are was still not able to keep it out. But like you see the stuff like the NFL teams and the Titans and stuff, people getting sick, like people with like that are taking active measures. If all the checks and balances aren't met, will still be able to get it. So kind of like what hope is there for the regular person to avoid this longer term? Really isn't much. Respect lifted. He gets the best medical, right? So like every 70-year-old person out there getting it, can watch this and be like, oh, I don't have access to any of that shit, let alone do I have people trying to test everyone every single morning that's coming in contact with me, and whatever slipped through the cracks to get to where he finally got infected, and then able to spread it back to his own campaign group. It takes one slip up to fuck up at his level, and none of us are paying attention that closely when we go to a supermarket and you try to like do grocery shopping with your mask on and shit like that. Like we don't have the kind of like level of safety protocols in place that he does, and he still got it. So it really does lend to like eventually we're all just gonna get this fucking disease like the common cold. It's just gonna run through the whole population. So right, Regeneron is up pre-market. He got that experimental treatment from them that supposed to boost antibodies or something like that. Vitamin D, zinc, aspirin. They gave us a whole regimen of stuff like that, and then I think the red nose beer is the Regeneron thing, and I forgot what the other one was. They're doing tests on Trump. You know what? Better him be the damn guinea pig for something experimental than they go test that in Africa like they like to do. Let's see. All right. These guys are the guys with the experimental thing. So, I think we looked at this in the last show. And this is where they are right now. They're gapping out of that shockwave. So, yeah, we drew this up for the last show. And we kind of showed this like area he was sitting on top of, and the shockwave under here. And much like the reason I told you don't sit inside a shockwave, don't get out of it, right? He's traded up, he's traded into the bottom of this range. Overall, it's not like the most bullish looking thing you could ever see. And holding this gap, he might play into this range as long as he holds the gap opening he does right now. But it's a pretty big gap. It's 30-point pop he's got. So, yeah, I think longer term still, him coming out of this angle is a better deal to watch at like a higher res. Because that's what he's really doing. He's just chopping this breakout. Let me get this off here. What up, Clip Delarius? Shout out the bits. I'm going to have some IT support today, so slowly but surely, like, there's no alerts or anything for the bits at all, or I can't hear them. Do y'all hear bits alerts at all? Because I don't seem to have that sound now. Let me know if you guys even hear the alert sound or see the animation. Nope. So the sound is gone and the animation's gone. And there's no animation, huh? Yeah, that's crazy. It's like this changed on its own. So I'll have to have somebody help me look at that because that's weird. I didn't do anything with that at all. I don't know how it just slowly disappeared after each show. No alerts. Totally weird. Alright, I got you. Yeah, that's weird. This Streamlabs is craziness. It's always something, but at least everything else runs, at least, all this. I'm happy that my charts run at full speed and my games run at full speed. Like, that shit was driving me out of my fucking mind. Alright. So what other things you guys got? Throw me some questions, symbols. 8:20, kind of ahead of our little, morning babble. So we have a lot of time here to check some stuff out. So I was looking over some stuff last night and kind of looking at like tech. Tech is still like a pretty shitty structure if you compare it to other places. Markets tend to rotate back and forth, and like we always want to be in front of the right sector and industries at the right timing. So I want to watch these kind of things like this. Looking at this, like you can't still but see that like transports and tech look vastly different. Here's a gap that we're seeing right now in the middle of this thing in industrials. Looking at guys like IYT, where is the strength at right now in the marketplace? And you look at like this guy, he's held just as low right here. He looks better than say like semiconductors. Whoever's kind of like looking for the lead to be, he's kind of got like a 2B setup right now. The gap on him is actually pretty fucking weak with the strength overnight in the marketplace. This is not really like your biggest gap up you could be seeing right now. Very anemic. So OnlyFans, we kind of updated some things on Tesla. And kind of watching like volume climb is important. It's kind of like good for timing. And watching it here, you can kind of see this here. I could have outlined it, and we want to see like a surge in volume with the directionality of this thing where he goes as this range now is. Give us more confidence in the ultimate direction it picks once he starts to leave this decline. And it's kind of good that this ends in election day. So we know this is coming probably at least within the month that Tesla's going to make a more meaningful, more volatile move. So that being said, that's probably true in a couple places in the market beyond Tesla. Looking at guys like AMD. Still looking for this guy to kind of finish, making a bull flag here. But when I look over to stuff like FedEx and shit like that, these guys look really good. Still waiting for these guys. They're like gapping right now, like imminently trying to leave the top. Much different than semis. Just a complete bull rip happening on semis. look at someone's getting semis. They just don't look healthy now. That's AMAT. That just looks fucking horrendous right now. It's just it's not the same thing. You can look at this like the semiconductors ran in front of these guys, and you can see things like this. Look, we look at the Zoom CCL. That doesn't look good for like looking at AMAT or any semi. They look very different. Right now transports are having like the run of the century on, well, just recently, on semiconductors, and it just means the tech side of the market's just not really underneath this thing. EPS, all these guys just are in like much better positions when you look into semi. So Texan remains to be a weak side of the market. Software doesn't look as good as it could look either. Oh, God damn it. Almost no kind of pre-market. This is well, I think it might not be showing a pre-market, but it looks like he's flat. This is kind of ugly. I mean, you want to see him above this box range, but you want to see him, show some strength into the morning. Unless we see like industrials fade and there's some remaining relative strength in semis, they don't look so great. The tech side of the market looks kind of shit. I think like Apple and all these guys in tech just got ahead of the marketplace. Like, there's Apple, all weak pre-market gaps. So again, like caution. I think there is so many people that are caught in in this marketplace. Tesla, like we said, he went to a really crazy location. This huge amount of volume he has here, you can see it in the profile. Deflected this recoil right here, and Apple and these guys have this bear flag like structure. We don't see that in like UPS and shit. And so, play strength always. These guys look a little suspect even for the time being. There's better sides of the market to watch right now. See what finance is doing pre-market. Looking at that dude, City looks crazy. He looks almost too obvious right now, but I think you let him finish developing this bear flag, and if he rolls out of it, pay attention to that. I think he could even, if you see good enough rotation this morning, you might see like some kind of relative strength in here, push City up a little bit out of this structure and make a more angled bear flag. But you have a clean look at what you want to not touch. So until he's on the bottom side of this thing or finishes pushing out like a higher wave, I think you let this guy evolve a little bit. So this is Trump's, over the weekend nonsense. Not much of an effect on some of the parts of the market you'd think it would have a bigger effect on. I buy some of these guys look pretty good. Brick and mortar stuff again looks pretty good. I think also Trump getting it and whatever, I'll have to just deal with it. It's the reality that no one can escape it. We all have to kind of deal with this shit. And it's going to come around to everybody at some point. If I see any strength in the market beyond like solar stocks, which we talked about, solar is fucking crazy. Some of these brick and mortar guys are coming back, and some of these online anti-social plays are coming back at the same time. Like Abercrombie & Fitch, these guys actually look pretty fucking decent. At a certain resolution, obviously. He has some overhead supply here, but he has a little bit of room to fucking make a play. Him and I always forget the symbol. Yeah. These are guys I told you to pay attention to that were coming out of the bottom, that would see like mall traffic increase, state like Florida reopening. These guys would benefit from it. Starbucks. Worth watching and seeing what he's doing as he's trying to fight his way out of this. He's not really out of this shockwave he's doing at the top, but some of these guys have looked interesting, just on a relative strength basis. I think again, like, the markets don't look as good as you want them to look. The VIX, let's see where we're at. Always paying attention to what Leon knows, because he knows. But it's a good range to watch. We told you about this guy, 3060 by 27.6. So no, the VIX is in shockwave too, and so this is kind of also like worrisome. If he gets on top of this, then that's like, that's your big concern. If he gets a chance to like play this wave out and go test like this area, it would get kind of scary, and we probably see risk blow off across the board in the market. Let me see. I cannot see my chat. Oh, there you go. Now you guys drop a bunch of symbols. I'm like over here just wandering around, waiting for you to do stuff. Please take a look at XJO. What is XJO? Australia. Nobody trades Australia. What are you talking about over here? No, okay, let's take a look. That's good. Nobody even brings up some foreign indexes. So that looks terrible. You should trade American stocks. No, but take a look at him here. Let's compare his oops, what's going on there? So you can see like how anemic the recovery is in Australia. Australia, like among the G7, 8 countries, you can kind of look at him, right? His currency has like one of the higher yields, and the carry trade kind of plays strong. Like he kind of gets a tailwind to his currency for that reason, when there's risk-seeking behavior. But similarly, so when you have a stronger currency, it handicaps your risk assets because in terms of that currency, right, it's going to reprice for downwards. One of the reasons that Japan pumps their currency to shit, they try to basically pump assets by completely debasing their currency and repricing them. The opposite effect is kind of true here, and also growth rate wise, Australia's kind of hit a wall for quite some time. But yeah, he kind of operates he'll be stronger oftentimes when the markets in the United States are weaker. Is where you kind of see it, and he's kind of like a relative play. He's not really something you want to go outright. He's just an underperformer. That doesn't look good. Let's see. I need to use something else. Oops, that wasn't right. That wasn't what I meant. Not that. Let's put the future on it. Give you kind of idea what kind of outperformer it is. So it's, similar assets, world indexes are correlated, much like assets in the same sector or in the same industry. They kind of move alike, but it's a game in the markets. It's not really about absolute movement. It's a game of relativity. Let's make this a color that doesn't make me want to throw up. Yeah. So when you look at this, you can kind of see who you'd want to play. If there's a bull scenario going on in this thing, Australia's just very muted on the upside. When you compare it to what the S&P 500 did. Technically, though, if you're going to look at this guy, like I said, you want to play best of breed. This relates to countries too. A lot of people say, well, I don't trade the United States. Well, that's dumb. You're looking to play the best performer in any basket of assets. You play strength. And clearly, he's not the strength when you at least compare him to the United States. And if you compare it to many other things like the FTSE and stuff like that, he'll look pretty terrible. Actually, England managed to look worse. Where's the rest of that chart? That's not right. I have a Japanese one right now. But one thing you can kind of look at too is the behaviors of all exchange indexes around the world. They behave similarly. Just there are guys who are superior assets, much like we look at semiconductors. You look at Nvidia versus many of the other guys. He's best of breed. That's true too in world markets and world currencies. We talk about the DXY, everyone thinks the dollar's going to crash. You have to think about, well, where does the money go to if that happens? What's better than the dollar? One of the reasons the dollar maintains its strength across time is that he's the best of breed in the basket of currencies. Little lesson on relativity. Let's see. Could you compare Boeing and DFIN? No, because DFIN is a triple leveraged ETF. You're just looking at defense stocks and over levering it, so it doesn't really tell you anything extra. DXY. So we've been watching the situation here, right? And we had a good sync on this guy with The Yoda plebs looking at this, and ever since then, weakening DXY has been pulling back. So we said this will pull back as deep as it needs to get rid of the late money. And see, this is what people think I mean over time when I make these comics. All I do is just point out where where an event occurred in time, in a graph of people, and if it happens to be a location that looks ridiculous, that's not me. That's on you. I just am a record keeper of historical data. So with DXY doing that, we can see that in other places. And so we're watching to see if we do, from this bounce, what really ultimately happens. Is the dollar going to take another shot at the base of that box, or is he going to keep on, correct against that late money? So all of this you're watching is just a reaction right now. And a good range to watch, right, like in watching the dollar and what he's doing is watch this. As the dollar fades, you had a good range that I gave you here on the Euro USD that kind of tracks the movement you saw, and the same level on the breakout of the Aussie kind of tracks the behavior. So they basically all arrived right here at the exact wrong moment. And perfect, that's what this zone is made of. People that are late on both sides until there's no more of them. So if that's going to keep pushing away from that late money that we know is down here, you can kind of see the structure of this. This is a lower resolution, I'm not going to really go down to like 1 hour and stuff, currency plays, but he could keep pushing into this range if he's going to oscillate across the box, and or deflect off of the base of this range that I outlined here. So interesting spot to watch where he is right now. You can see that same setup now in a lot of places. He's obviously, challenging that level right now. Chance for him to take a dive back towards this base range. So you have a couple areas to watch the dollar. You can kind of see what he's doing. Low resolution correction from where everybody arrived late. And that's just pushed out to the base down here. So it's a new low. So that's what you're watching on the dollar right now. Check him on the gold market. So we know this zone of volume is pretty heavy, and it's definitely worth paying attention to on gold. So, the DXY warrants some caution in the way he's moving right now. He's had a good trend. Can it push all the way back into the totally? And we want to make sure it fails before you go rushing for looking for the. Oops, that's not what I meant. Before you just go guessing, okay, it's got to roll like this. Never guess that. Let it do the roll. You can let it do the roll. You have plenty of time to play, these waves when they happen. You don't have to be the first guy in that. So that's not a projection at that moment. Let DXY weaken again if that's going to be strengthen again if that's going to be the case. There definitely are some things though that make you kind of uber cautious. TLT. Any kind of bullishness of this guy, warrants caution. The VIX is up, and we told you that volatility would likely kind of be high or stay high going into October. And Trump getting COVID is just one of many crazy ass things that you've seen. So there's probably going to be more crazy news flow as you get closer to the election. Square, let's see, DXY, S&P, based on 1920. You're going to go back and check that out. Well, we did the Dow already on that one in a previous show and looked at the corrective wave that we saw. We can kind of check it out. The S&P's chart's a little pixelated back there. The Dow has better resolution where you can look at it. But I can pull it up. I think it's going to be, I have to go a pretty high time frame for us to see stuff on it though. I'll go and check that in a minute. Let's check what they're asking here. Neo in space. That's pretty bullish on Neo. Let's go out a little bit. Comeback story, huh? Let's gotta get down to $1. When they found out he didn't have any cars, he was like the first version of Nikola, right? Gonna have a car he never had. Don't exactly know what the turnaround fundamentals of him are, so I can't speculate on that. Price wise, Looks pretty bullish. Yeah, that's probably not the best, like, drawing. Jesus. Now I just see what you're watching on that. He's getting a little obvious, but if he breaks again in trend and the market has any kind of strength underneath it, it doesn't look bad. It's like he's still in motion, but he could be tired. I mean, one, two. This could be your third major wave in it, really. As he Yeah, be cautious, but looks like pretty clean uptrend on that guy. Space, we've been watching him. He has a test flight this month. We drew out that shockwave that he was in. He's gonna pop that today. There was a higher floor we had noted in it that was happening as he was rising towards the top of this range. So he's over this whole structure. I just want to see him sustain this if he's going to continue to push higher out of it. So we know this rotation back when we were drawing this out, right? Question mark, is this going to be the higher floor form down here? And yeah, it turned into that. So space looks good. Let's hope he doesn't blow anything up on his test flight. And now he's making kind of a range of, he needs to get at the top of this guy. Right? This was a huge volume area. So that really is your line in the sand. And he's got a gap in him too. So just be careful with him today. If the market loses any steam and stuff like that, this could kind of get more dangerous. But you've got a gap right here he's running into. This huge gap down day. And the top of this this area are definitely of concern to watch him clear it. Also this gap over here, so, and the gap right here. Significant action on the top of this level, so watch basically how he interacts with this. That's where you could get chopped up on the leave he's doing right now. So yeah, good action here. Good gap, tested the gap, gap again, gap down again. So decent enough interaction. Just warrants caution to watch how he interacts with this. He might shockwave on that and then push through it. So if you're not in it already, just be careful with how you watch this, and you have overhead area of concern at 2152. All right, thoughts on Square. Not bad. So we've made the shockwave here. He done a fake break, gone down, and we put a level into it. Now this could be the entire range here. I need to have extended that, but we had to pull this guy up in a bit. So let's kind of edit this guy. It's a really, you just watch him go through this. I mean, that's all he has to really hold at this point. It's just a much larger range. Let me get this purple one. You want to see a lot of different payment guys strong with this. These guys don't look so great just yet. I think as good as Breakout as that looks on its own, it looks a little scary to not have all these guys with him. I'd like to see them basket wide all be kind of strong. Let's see what PayPal looks like. Nothing looks like Square. That doesn't say that Square is not just relatively just as strong as fuck, which is what he is for him to be breaking out like this. But I'd like to see the whole rest of his group behind him. So this is kind of scary as a gap. Warrants caution if he's gonna possibly, if he loses the strength of the opening and traces back into this range, then that would warrant caution overall for all the payments. If he stays out, then that's another story. But I'd watch how he trades today on the opening gap he's got. Without any of the guys looking like that, that makes me suspect that he could fade his gap. Alright, so we just evolved that guy. It's just a range to watch. Let me know if I'm not like talking to this thing. Sometimes I forget. My bad. Yeah, I think him being so different, he makes me worried about like a gap fade. Like no real strength in that pre-market on you. Yeah, I like MasterCard. These guys, this box range you see here. It's a range you see like semis breaking and then kind of like stalling. Like you see how like anemic some of these guys look. They just don't look as bullish as they could. Like some of these structures on the way up. I think all this needs time. What else you guys got? What else you got? The alkaline water dollar. Did you just recommend a penny stock? What'd you ask me? We don't do this on here. Kyle Bond throwing out blows after blows after blows. So that same box range we just talked about is present also here in jets of the rest of airlines. You can kind of see that it's like pretty good range of volume that you want to see it outside of to play. You'd rather see them pop up here and do some shit and then do that for right now. I wouldn't get trapped in here. The gap up is not really a lot. You'd think it would be a little stronger too with Trump going in and possibly coming back real fast, but it's not. I think Boeing probably like has better strength to him. But that's the pre-market. Boeing's pre-market's right here. Good levels if you never marked them. 46.20. This guy right here, can't see through this stupid fucking line. It's like 168.80. Right around there. I can't see it. It's fucking driving me crazy, that pre-market. But Boeing again has a lot of work to do to get back to where he was. He has to beat that level, take out this wave down, and then get back into this air congestion. He'd look a little bit better than what he does now. But till further notice, he still has quite a bullish scenario too possible for him. If the rest of the market weakens out and Citigroup and these guys weaken out, these guys have very pronounced bullish setups. So airlines and jets don't look so great at this moment. I already did DXY in the beginning. Spanish index bring up. What up, Jez? Thank you for the bits, lady. Let me see here. GFL. IBEX. Yeah, let's see if I can bring that for a minute. What is this? As long as it's not a penny stock. This looks thin as fuck. Well, not a lot of history on it. Looks fairly bullish. Don't know what the hell this is. GFL Environmental. You said bring up a Canadian stock? Is this it? It looks like the same company. Yeah, it is. Okay. Not sure what they do, but yeah, I don't think this looks that bad. Breakout of that level might be worth paying attention to. And just staying above this level once he clears it. IBEX. Can I bring that up over here? I don't know if I have a symbol for that guy off the top of my head. This is Spain. And yeah, nobody wants Spain. He looks like shit. So that's his recovery since COVID. I won't care about him unless he can break out of that, for the time being. He's a failing bear flag. And that's the nature of it, right? You're bear flag is made of bull flags, and your bear flags are made of your bear flags are made of bull flags, and your bull flags are made of bear flags. It's the most interesting in the world, right? Bear flag, bear flag, bear flag. So you see what he does. All right, catching up. Some people Spain trading Spanish stocks while they can trade American ones. Right, like it makes no sense. Like you're fighting against the macro of what's going on in that marketplace. Thanks for the bits, Rupert. Cat would be nice to look at, please. Caterpillar. So again, back to industrials. Let's see if this guy looks a bit better. Again, like the relative strength in industrials is a lot better. So where we don't see such nice setups in semis, we look at these dudes and they look tons better. So this high right here, which is the December 2019 high that leads to the dump of COVID, you want to see that high taken out like we saw in FedEx and UPS. So he's at the point he's challenging that. I have a million alerts on this dude, obviously. Let's see. Let's put that cleanly across and take a look at what he's doing. So yeah, he's kind of just trying to chop his way back through that high. Let me tell you, that can happen a lot. You kind of want to see him just beat this. It'll cut a lot of people apart, but get back above that, and he'll look really bullish once he clears that range. Beyond is showing vegan strength. Yeah, we've shown Beyond. I think we just talked about it in the last show. Somebody asked him on was that the night show? No, it is the last morning show. I think somebody asked about him. And this is what you're watching, right? The same thing, like watching the high. Does he get cleared? He's chopping right now. You want him cleanly above this right now. He's made a low range. He could retrace back in here and do some more shenanigans before he's ready to go. So, but pretty clear area to watch. Roku, more COVID, more people at home. Roku looks good. We pointed Roku out a while ago from this shockwave. He fake rigged kind of here, came back, and then popped out of it, retested, and he's still pushing ever so higher. So Roku's, I've seen Roku's, and I think they're personally like ridiculous, but I believe older people love this thing, and that's the market you want the adoption from, right? Is that consumer. If they're willing to buy it and everybody underneath uses it, then they have wide adoption. So pretty bullish stock. Now watch him to correct against that if he does. If he pulls back and holds it or not. Or if he comes through that, that'll be a deeper correction. You'll watch for a box range to form on that guy. And then wait for him to come back out of it. But you want to see him sustain a break of this high now. Do I care to do Bitcoin? Wow. Sounds like you're begging. Yeah, I can care to do Bitcoin. I don't have anything against Bitcoin. Like crypto people terrified to ask me about Bitcoin. You can't feel about Bitcoin, bro. It's okay. So BTC, we actually did him a few times, and he's kind of in no man's land. With stocks looking kind of weird, tech stocks looking weird. This was the bull flag we showed. He might draw out and maybe put in a potentially lower floor. So he's kind of meandered ever so slowly from the bottom side when we showed you this. We used this top angle to kind of get a gauge on what this bottom could be, and he's kind of really, really slowly worked his way over. So he looks like he wants to kind of set this up, doesn't he? And you want to see greater risk assumption in the market for him to gain some more strength. So this level was the key level that we talked about for a while before he got out, which is 10.4. And he's chopping through this right now, like a few assets we showed you, like Caterpillar, working through his 2019 high. This is the same thing. This is like effectively the same highs for him that Caterpillar put in just before the end of the year. And he's kind of chopping that. So you like broadly, in many places, the same kind of area is kind of just being shitted all over. So he needs to kind of just a little better structure here. If he's going to turn up out of this now, then you want to see like this floor hold and him like rotate like right through this shit and go out like now. Otherwise, he may hold the angle right here and fade down and make another low, and then see if he's going to come out or not before you kind of want to play this. But you want to see something like him escape this kind of declining structure first. So 10.4 is a good area to watch what he does, as he's dipped through it once, see what he does again if he dips through it again, or if he manages to structure out and, like I said, turn out now out of this. That's what you'd be waiting for on him. So that's what I'm watching on that guy. Otherwise, right, he could come down all the way to this POC, which is running through him all the way back into this time period. This is pretty decent volume for him to maybe catch a base on and kind of stop some people out who freaked out about 10-4 being fully compromised. But wait and see is kind of your best thing for him at this moment. See, I'll do Bitcoin. Damn, Sanka says you got the 3-for-1 special in there. I'll give you one of those. I'll do save. That's airlines, so I won't do that because I already did airlines. Lucky you. What's WB? Weibo. Downtrend. Analysis complete. In a clear-cut downtrend, and pretty solid ranges on the way down. Decent overhead supply above them. Probably safer guy to watch heading down. Is there a chance of him recovering? Yeah. Any volume zone leads to potential change of direction. But this is not a guy that'd be on the radar, given some of the other stronger assets that are available to look at. Damn. What a fucking buffet you guys are throwing at me. Alright, take a break. Same people who say I don't trade American stocks are the same people who say I don't trade forex, I don't trade crypto, I don't trade this, right? It's ridiculous. Your only goal is to make money on the mispriced perceptions of others that that make poor choices. Who the hell cares where the hell that happens at? 10% on your money is 10%. It doesn't really make it the better 10% in a different asset class. Roku controllers, big buttons, yeah. They tailor made that a technology product for an older market, and those people are the perfect consumers. They watch a lot of fucking TV. Absolutely. Kathy Woods is pretty bullish on Roku. Yeah, she's a monster with what she did with Tesla. Like I said, Roku's about adoption. They've got the right segment of the market's willing to use it while young people use it. So that's what you want. That's the Apple formula. Old people, your grandparents use an iPhone, and all of you who are young still think it's cool. That's your best case fucking scenario, right? When that gigantic range of age bracket will fucking all pick up the device and use it. Roku has that effect right now. He's got a crazy position in the market. Kiss downtrend. Do Bitcoin again? No, not do Bitcoin again. What the fuck's wrong with you? KIS. Wait. Oh, keep it simple. So I'm thinking of Kisser, like Cole. I'm like, what? What are you asking me? The Kisser. People used to call that guy the Kisser. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Him, Coles. He's KSS. It's interesting to pull up there what's going on with this guy. So, as far as the bearish case goes, right, like him breaking down a huge volume range like that would be not good. But a pretty easy range to keep your eyes on also if he goes back down through that and swings through as well. So he's recoiling right now into his range, but that's worth keeping on the radar. Damn, you guys are taking them triple symbols. Well, you better fling some bits if you want me to do 3 symbols at once. Let's see what else we got here. Go overboard. How much can you get out of Kaz in 30 minutes? IPR. We talked about him. Pickaxe and shovels. Definitely a good read to watch. This dude, he benefits when others selling marijuana don't. So he's definitely a guy that if you're betting on medical marijuana, that he's got to be part of part of what you're looking at. Because you look at most of marijuana, it looks like this. So that's he's not sort of like your best of breed in that space. and a different angle of attack on it. So this was MJ, by the way, where he was. We're watching this range to see if he could get out of here and recoil back across this and make it kind of like a stop run. But like, look at that versus IIPR. It's like, a no-brainer. So looks good. Has a range to get out of. Has a bull flag. 3D printing company above the buys. ARK is partially invested in it. What was it? Oh, Qualcomm. I skipped that. Yeah, Qualcomm, like I said, it looks like NVIDIA. He looks a little stronger, but still, this range that NVIDIA escaped and kind of went back through, it's kind of happening across the board, a lot of them. He'd only be good just back through this completely. All the semis just don't look like their best right now. They don't look like your best option today. Things could change in the open market, but like I said, some of these industrials transport guys look a lot better. Let me check railroads, some other. None of these guys look that great. Right now, this seems to be EPS and FedEx. DocuSign. Hate seeing this giant stalactite in the middle of this thing, but if I had to watch this guy, I'd watch that range right there. And bullish setups north of the top of this box range is probably your best idea, even though it's got this crazy ass fucking stalactite in it. If you pay attention to like lower rises, the way he's moving, it's still visibly bullish setups, he's got here. See if you can get outside this and possibly do another version of that, do another one to play out of there. Might be a better place to fuck with him. But still don't like it, the way tech is performing right now. This range kind of looks sus, along with like seeing some of those semis kind of like trapped inside a similar breakout and fizzle. So, but technically just, leaving all that off the table, just his price structure would look probably safer outside this box range. 26 above. You just want to see sustain for another setup that you can, define risk on. That's right, that's right. Shout out to my homie. Threw me a fucking pimpin' ass new hoodie for the show, keeping me fresh to death. Cause might be a little behind times in the fashion sense. The smalls got me. Let's see this. Can you do TNDM? TNDM. Let's jump out a bit on that guy. Tandem's a dude been watching for a while, come out of the grave. So like on the monthly, he's a hell of a comeback, right? This is a guy that kind of watching the big time frame, medical devices. I didn't mean that. Always why you want to pay attention to big zones of volume. He did lightsaber the fuck out of this, with a breakout here and then fucking just wreck some people on the way back. So that being said, see the way he's moving. A little bit messy, but bullish nonetheless. You want to see him kind of swing out across the top of this whole thing and leave again. Hold that, but it looks bullish. He's having a hell of a comeback. Let's see where he hit the resistance at. That's probably an immediate area of concern for that guy. Stop doing that. Stop it. Yeah. He breaks up out of this. You can probably target 122.58 shockwave on that, and then see what he does. But yeah, I think his macro reversal is kind of like well established at this point. That's your next most immediate concern though for resistance, I think, on that spot. So we'll leave that there. Oh, NNDM is the art company. Let's look at that. Would you say they were nano devices? NNDM? Nano Dimensional LTD. What is this? Some crazy ADR. Some thin as fuck. What is this crazy shit? $2 stocks? Nope. None of your penny stock fantasies above the bias. What are you bringing on this show? Jesus fucking Christ. I can't put shit like that on here. The hidden bull market on Sirius. Remember we told you that one's a really high time frame. That's gonna be something like we probably don't check in on that frequently. He's in a monthly time frame where we're looking at that dude. This is gonna take a while to play out, but looks good. You know, like I said, this is probably like now Sirius probably does fit into the space cash basket. You know, satellite entertainment. So he's probably on a longer time scale play, but it doesn't look bad. This would be the kind of thing that like if you were gonna play this on this time scale, you probably you could sell puts against it. And collect a premium underneath this price. Like if you're willing to acquire this guy like somewhere around his POC, you could sell puts against him and just kind of collect a premium for as long as he took to get out. Understanding that if he trades through the put, you could actually take on the shares with some premium. That's the strategy that many people don't realize that put sellers can do, not just to actually play it bullishly, but be willing to actually in time, if he pulls through your strike, give you the stock with how much ever premium you collected, you create a massive discount to buying him. Until he finds his way out of here and gives you a setup you want to trade directionally. If you own the stock in here, selling calls against it and maybe even puts at the same time to double your fucking yield and maybe pick up more shares if he dips a little bit is a strategy some people can employ. But if you're going to play raw directionality, then you want him to leave this bull flag on this resolution, and then he'll have a chance for a wave on a really high time scale. So some little ideas for you. Alright, let's see. So yeah, no cheapo companies. This is a cheapo company, but I guess he's got pretty fucking crazy volume, so it's okay. Thanks for the bits, Gabriel. 3D printing stocks. Maximus Shadow. I was like, what the fuck? PRLB. If these things are super thin, okay, not super thin. Good deal. So good to see this guy in a fucking monthly. Kind of reminds me a bit of Tesla on high resolution in the early days. You look at Tesla, kind of look at like that. Almost looks just like that, right? That one you just told me. Let's turn this crazy thing off one sec. It's. So just looking at that part of Tesla, let me leave that right there real quick. It looks similar. PREL. What did you tell me? PRLB? Is that what you just told me? Did I mistype that? PRLB, right? Monthly. Yeah, a little bit. That first shockwave looks real similar, doesn't it? This guy. He almost looks like he's running at the same time, too. On this resolution. Look at that. Those highs are kind of in the same place. Yeah, this shockwave looks a lot like Tesla. That's pretty crazy. Interesting. I need to recognize that shape. Let's see. Where's my paintbrush? See, this is that first spike that gets spiked out with stop run, right? You get stop run right there. And then here. Very similar, rotation back up, right? And then the big ass retest. Where does that happen for him? Oh, it's way over here. Okay. But he does have like a Tesla style. Like this is basically Elon's 420 tweet that drives him back down here, isn't it? No, that's yeah. And dumps him into the range here and fucking traumatizes everybody and their children. And then comes back out of that with a hella recoil. So that's interesting. This is a much deeper flag structure he's got. Huh. Well, if he's doing anything like that structure, right? We're looking for him to scare the living shit out of people all the way up like he does here. Huge, deep corrections that ultimately he rotates back up through and turns. So, let's check that level. This is the overall structure that he's dipping into, so we want to see that range kind of hold. God damn it. Kind of that deal, isn't it? That guy is that guy. Didn't hold a break of it. But you're watching this to come back up and see any plays above this level. See if you can set up something else, that steps out. Gives him a chance to arc again. Might be worth watching that dude. I think I like this better than Tesla. You see Tesla take out that level, retest it way later. It's not exactly there. He failed what would have been the launch move for him. It didn't happen. Tesla's, hell, this one blew up and then fucking fizzled a little bit. So he would need to recover. But he has a very, very serious similarities to the Tesla shape, doesn't he? Interesting one. Nice one. Shut up, Biggie Smalls. Trolling me on the air. It's all good. Nice. Let's see. Cash up and sit launch here. Puts. Shout out to 420 bits. Almost time for that wake and bake. Actually, I already did that. Yeah, you can clip live. So yeah, I guess somebody found it. Tiki found it. It's because it's a subscriber archive access only. Only subscribers can clip live while we're watching it. But yeah, it just kind of helps cut down the amount of my shit that goes back over to fucking Bloomberg and Forbes and every fucking CT prick that's trolling my stations. So we kind of leave it like that just to reduce the amount of stuff that gets stolen. But it's inevitably going to happen, so it's whatever. But you'll always see it here first, so don't get secondhand versions of my shit. Timing matters, so you want it when it comes out. So it's 9:12. We kind of ran through every symbol that we could. You guys get yourselves set for the opener. Lots of interesting stuff there. That was a pretty cool one, that last one somebody threw at me. Didn't even realize it was over time. And none of y'all warned me neither. But all good. So some of these stuff, probably clean up some things here and take a look at some other stuff and find some stuff here or in the Winter After Darks, and we'll add some stuff to OnlyFans. So So you guys that want to make some good, clean, high-res charts and with some more context added to them, check us out over there. Till then, everybody have a safe trading week. Be careful with the news flow going on right now. If there's any kind of deterioration of Trump's health, that shit could be fucking crazy. I'm going to throw out a Telegram link for anybody that wants to come chat with us. Come chat. Don't say silly shit. Your tenure will be short. Copy link. Come on, wake up. Here, any minute, here it comes. Telegram link, so join that. Hop in, introduce yourself, don't be a lurker. Say that every time. Read the pinned post, actually read it, don't skim it. Read the blog. Expect on the bits, Lord of me, I appreciate you. I know you guys, shout out to everybody in the disciples that sent me the moon. This thing's pretty dope. I love space stuff, so it's an easy fucking sell. You didn't have to think much about it, but this thing's fucking awesome. Appreciate it, love it on the set. Shout out 300 bits, V713, TZ. So, alright, y'all, get ready for the market. 15 minutes till winter after dark tomorrow. I will catch up with y'all. Appreciate everybody coming out. Do not have controller available to exit show smoothly, so you will have to wait for me to banter until I get it back. And we are out.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome